Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Zito Unfiltered. No filter, no feelings. And this week I'd like to break down the topic of perception. Perception is a dangerous thing. It bends reality, it rewrites narratives, and it makes lies sound like it's the truth. Now, breaking down perception today, I want to do it both in the South African context as well as the African context. And I want to start with banking. Most of the world thinks that America is the land of financial innovation. But if you look at South Africa, we had inventions like e-wallets and cash send in the early 2009s. You could send money from Soweto to Limpopo in seconds, whilst Americans were queuing at ATMs. America had, what's the popular app called? Cash App. I think they only got Cash App like in 2013 or so. And as I'm speaking now, there are still parts of America where they still swipe and sign cards. Whilst here in South Africa already, we are tapping our cards at spaza shops. Even some of the taxis, you can get in and tap your card and just move on with life. So the perception says America leads. The reality actually says South Africa's financial system is up there as one of the most advanced in the world. Another issue that is very much perception based is education. Here on the African continent, we've got Nigerians and Zimbabweans who love to call South Africans lazy and dumb. But the stats don't agree with them. The stats says South African literacy rate is sitting at 95%. It is the second highest, second only to Seychelles, which is sitting at about 95.2%. Let's look at Zimbabwe, sitting at 87% currently. Nigeria, 62% literacy rate. That's just literacy rates. If we go and we touch on the issue of higher education, South African universities constantly rank in the global top 1,000. UCT is always there in the front. Wits and Stellis as well, Stellenbosch. They are forever within the top 500, producing world-class talents. Meanwhile, the best university in Zimbabwe and Nigeria don't even crack it into the top 1,000. That's why we struggle to hang on to our nurses, our doctors, and our engineers. They are poached worldwide because the perception here says we are lazy. But the reality will tell you we are pretty skilled, pretty educated, and in demand. The problem is that we can't hold on to the talent. We do not have enough money to hold on to our skillful South Africans. And also, let's talk about a more touchy issue. Who built South Africa? A lot of our African brothers and sisters keep saying, yeah, white people built South Africa, white people this. No, white people didn't build South Africa. White people designed and developed it. But the actual bricks, the sweat, the cement, the hard work, that came from the hands of black people. Our grandparents built these mines, the railways, these cities that the whole world is enjoying. While they were being paid slave wages, or they were being paid in alcohol. That thing in Afrikaans, they used to call it the dop system. Today, the children of those hard workers, they reject being underpaid. They reject being overworked. And then you'll have people who are visitors here in our country suddenly come up with terms like, no, South Africans are entitled this, they are entitled that. No, we are not entitled. We're just not desperate. I'm sure if South Africans were stranded in another country and they didn't have option, they'd take the most degrading jobs. That's not laziness, that's survival. And when you talk about that, perception ignores that. Even globally, perception plays tricks on many people or in many people's heads. I mean, that iPhone that you are flexing with, it's American, or it says it's an American product, but in reality, it's not. The screen comes from Samsung. The memory or the BIOS comes from Japan. The chip is built in Taiwan. The whole thing is assembled in China. Apple just puts the logo on and sells the dream to you. Perception makes it feel like you've got an authentic American product. The reality shows that some of those products don't even go via America when it comes to you. It is built, manufactured, assembled, and then straight from Asia, it comes through to you sitting here in Africa. Again, closer to home. Soweto, for years, the perception was it's a dusty, broken township. But if you look at if you look at Soweto, if you look at Soweto, who gave us leaders, music, struggle icons, and one of the most vibrant economies in Africa, the perception is that it is a place of lack, but the reality says it is a place of strength, resilience, and hustle. Now, the truth is, perception is cheap, but reality is expensive. I mean, if you look at the alcohol issue as well, the perception is that South Africa is a drinking country, but that's not the reality. If you look at the stats for the last 30 years, World Health Organization confirms that in South Africa, only between 31 and 34% of the population drinks alcohol. We are not a drinking country. The drinkers or the drunkards in South Africa are a minority. Majority of this country don't drink. The problem is that minority drinks so much that they make it seem like the whole country is drowning in alcohol. Again, a perception that is not backed up by facts. So next time when someone comes up with these perceptions, slap them with the reality. And if they ask you why you're slapping them, just tell them, Mr. Lenzito said them, you must smack them with the reality. That's it for this week. From me, Mr. Lenzito, the #1 motivator outside of the equator. Sharpen away.